James, g'day.
Well, hello. Nice to see you.
How are you doing?
Oh, busy today. Yourself?
You found it. You found your way. Navigated your way through this technology and got here all right.
Yeah, I've been doing over the last 6-9 months. I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls.
I think most people have actually, haven't they?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been mixing my time up between Zoom, Google Meet, and Teams.
Very good.
So
yeah, there's a couple more people that are about to join us, so we can chit chat while we're waiting.
Yeah, sure.
I was just checking my messages because I've got a brand new lady that's in the UK.
Yeah, I noticed that. So is this via Facebook, is it? Or?
Yes. Yeah. We have a couple. Well, we have about 20 other sites that Noble Goldman are running that we are allowed to be moderators on.
Yeah.
And therefore we can go out into the global community, and people find those sites, find them interesting, and ask to join them, and then it's a way of us connecting with them and seeing what are you looking for. And if they're joining a motivational site, then there's a good chance that it's something that they're interested in, that they want to know more about, and they're looking for some kind of support or opportunities to meet new people or to develop themselves in some way. So it's a very good system.
Yeah.
It's certainly different to going out to networking breakfasts and so on. I mean, you can still do a bit of that as well.
That has its. If you've got the right audience, that's that's fair enough. But it is relatively limited, isn't it? It's, in terms of scope and reach.
Yeah, that's the only thing about it. That once you've seen those same people numerous times, that you sort of think, well, are they likely to do business? But you never know. I mean, I remember going to a networking group for I'd seen the same guy there for over 2 years, and then one January he suddenly said, right, Tony, he bought my book a year before and read that, thought it was great, and then he suddenly said in January, this is the year I'm going to get some coaching and I'm going to come and talk to you, Tony. Still got him, took him till May to get get going, but
look, I know in my case, my lead time, ranges from probably a month to 4 years. I've had some people sitting on the timing's not right, and when it is, you just you keep in contact, and sooner or later all of a sudden it pops up. You don't know who, you don't know when, but one thing I noticed, it does happen. So it's a horny old cliche, but it is a numbers game.
Well, yes, that's true. We have somebody else. Someone called, I'm here. I'm intrigued. We do get some interesting names pop up on some of these things. Hello. It's Trudy.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Hello.
Well, meet James.
Hi, James.
Hi, and your name is I'm here?
Yeah, I'm always here. No, it's Trudy.
Okay, Trudy, nice to meet you.
Trudy's coming to us all the way from where, Trudy?
Udaipur in Rajasthan, India.
Really? Wow.
Okay.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
No worries, we're used to that, so don't worry. If you have to take it, you take it. Trudy is running a hotel in India, and so she does get called away sometimes in the middle of the mastermind calls, and we just kind of work around that, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And all you have to do there, James, or you've been on plenty of these things, so just mute yourself if you need to, or turn your camera off if you need to go and do something.
No problem.
Hello,
Veronica.
Hi.
Now, Veronica and James, do you know each other?
No. The name's at the bottom of the screen.
Ah,
That's why I changed mine.
keep everyone guessing. Eh?
Ah, that's mean. I'll have to call you on here.
Where are you based, Veronica?
I'm in Perth, in the Perth Hills, not far from Tony.
All right. Well, I'm not in the hills.
What about you?
I'm not in the hills. I'm down near Carousel Shopping Centre.
Oh,
Yeah, not
okay.
too far away
So
from
Perth. On the same time zone.
Yeah, pretty close.
And James and I have been trying to organise getting together for a coffee for quite a long time now. That's my fault rather than yours, I think, James.
It's been a couple of years, Tony.
It's been a while, hasn't it? We must do that because I said to James I want to interview him as one of the stories for my book because he has an interesting story to tell, and that he's given me a little bit of an insight into, but I've got to get all the juicy details. Yeah, you will find Trudy will come and go a little bit. She does get interruptions, unfortunately. It's just she's a one lady show there, and she has to deal with things, guest inquiries and so forth.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So perhaps James, you might want to just introduce yourself, seeing as it's a small, intimate group. It looks like this evening.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can see my name, so I don't need to spell that out for you, Veronica. But I'm country manager with Harrison Assessments. We do a lot of behavioural profiling and talent analytics, employee development, executive coaching, recruitment, that sort of thing within organisations. And yeah, that's what keeps me occupied during the week and quite busy. So,
what profiling tool do you use?
Harrison Assessments.
Okay.
You've not heard of them? No. We're the best kept secret in the country.
Is it an Australian one? Or?
Actually, quite. Well, funny enough, it was developed by an American, but he was living in Perth, actually Pemberton in WA, when he developed it about 30 years ago, and so it has its origins here in WA, but we're all over the world now. We've got a fairly decent presence in the US, in Southeast Asia, and Europe's growing quite quickly, as is China. So it's come a long way. It's very wide and it's very deep in its applications, and I'm in heaven. It fascinates me still after 15 years. So what about yourself?
So I've been in accounting for 30 odd years, public practice. So I've seen a lot of businesses come and go and different sizes and different people, and started my own business because I moved to Kalamunda and got sick of driving to Subiaco, amongst other things, amongst other reasons. One of my biggest clients who I worked with for a very long time actually came with me. He knew I was unhappy and he said, I'm going where you go. So that kind of gave me the courage to start my own business. And he's still with me and very happy. And yeah, so started my own business, went through a lot of different evolutions with that.
Yeah.
Had staff, had offices, going back to behaviour clients, and also do Young Living Essential Oils as a distributor for that. And I've started HNLP coaching as well, which is a very ontological form of coaching.
What's that called again, sorry?
HNLP, Humanistic Neurolinguistic Psychology.
Oh, right then, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it involves a lot of work with the subconscious. Very, very quick shifts can be made with it. So I'm really enjoying that. Yeah.
Is it a bit noisy from me, is it?
Yeah, a little bit back there.
Just trying to turn the gain down a bit.
Veronica,
okay. How's that? Yeah. How's that?
Have you? I'm just having a little bit of trouble with my Facebook speed or my internet speed. Joe's on there. Oh, it's right. He's found it. Don't worry. Christopher was trying to get the link, and I couldn't get to my Facebook page to get the link.
All right.
Oh.
Note to self: have that link handy where you can just copy and paste it for those people. I don't know. There's a way I think of just inviting someone on the spot, but I can't remember how to do that. So. You found it, Christopher. Sorry about that. I was scrambling trying to find it for you. and Trudy's back as well. So Christopher, can you hear us?
Yeah.
So Christopher's over in Sydney.
Where, sorry?
Sydney, New South Wales.
Sydney. Oh, right. Okay. Nice to meet you, Christopher.
Hi. I'm Chris.
Nice living room.
This is, can you guess what it is? This is the scene from Up.
From Up the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Christopher's very good with his digital stuff. He's an animator and all sorts of things, aren't you?
Oh.
Man of many skills.
Right.
They're creative.
So, Trudy, you're okay? You're back with us? Doing all right? I know you might get the odd interruption. We kind of warned the other guys. So.
Yeah, no, good news. I finished yesterday, but they're working on the Wi-Fi here, so I changed to my phone Wi-Fi, and then I got the phone call, so I said, I'll turn my phone off so I don't get interrupted. I forgot I was on Wi-Fi, so I'm back.
Yay!
Next week, I'll be coming from Fort Coltrane in Kerala.
Oh, Kerala. I love Kerala.
Going south for the winter.
Yeah, nice.
So you've sold the hotel, have you, or you're just packing up or something?
You know, I'm just here working, or volunteering really for the money you earn. So I finished working, and I'm doing what I came to India to do, to travel.
Awesome. Well done. So Trudy, with being away there, we could do a quick introduction. We've got time, and there's only 5 of us as a small group. So did you want to just explain? Well, you have just explained really what you're doing, I suppose. But if you want to elaborate a little bit more on that at all, where are you from?
Yeah, no, so I'm originally from Queensland, Australia. I came to India a year ago to travel, and due to the world circumstances, I've been in Udaipur, Rajasthan for 8 months, having a marvelous time, but it's cold, so I'm going south for the winter. I'm basically stuck in India until the world opens, and I don't care about that. So, yeah. And it's good to connect with groups like this because I do get to speak to English people.
Yep, very good. Okay, James, you were on first, so I guess you can just give a quick intro for Christopher and Trudy. You might have missed that. Where you're from?
All right. Sorry to repeat myself, Veronica, but I'm based in Perth, in Australia, near Tony and Veronica. Been in Australia for about 45 years, 46 years. But I'm country manager for Harrison Assessments. We do behavioural profiling, basically measuring people's behavioural tendencies, stress behaviours, that sort of thing, in the context of work, and how that impacts people's performance in work, and also for selecting people with the right type of character traits and strengths to suit specific jobs. So it's rather interesting work, and lots of scope, and very busy at the moment, so no complaints.
Well, thanks for making time for us. Welcome aboard, James. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Veronica.
Okay, so I've got several different hats. My longest standing one is being an accountant. So I've worked in public practice and seen lots of businesses come and go through their life cycles. People come and go. Started my own practice about, is it 9 years ago? 9 years ago, roughly. Because I could see there was a need that wasn't getting met. So, and doing more like monthly contracts, so people actually see me regularly rather than just doing their tax returns and off they go. Also do living oils, which has made a huge difference to my life and the health of my life, myself and my family. And started just certified in HNLP coaching just in the last month or so as well. So got lots of different hats and hoping to kind of, well, no, there's not really a lot of people that I get to speak to about all of this stuff. So being in a global mastermind like this, there's always people who just, you know, we're all coming with open minds and and everyone's got something to contribute. So yeah, I love being here.
Good work.
Awesome. Christopher.
Hi, I've known Tony for a while, and he's been helping me all these years. I was originally from Singapore, then I moved to Perth in 2006, and now I'm in Sydney for the last couple of years. My daughter has started uni here, so that's why I'm here. And I used to be a lawyer, and I also was involved in design, interior design, animation, 3D modeling in games as well.
That's great. And I love the background. It is awesome.
Okay, I've got so many.
It actually reminds me of, I was watching an interview the other day between ex-President Obama and Oprah Winfrey, and it looked like they were having a very cozy chat, two armchairs facing each other in front of the fireplace with a roaring fire going. And in fact, they showed on YouTube, they were in completely different rooms in other sides of the country. It was all CGI stuff. So very interesting. All right, so James, you're the newbie on the call in terms of what we do with Noble Goldman. We have a set of principles that I'll share on the screen in a second. And so what we do is we each take a number and just read a line from those principles. So we work our way through. There's only 13 we're going to go through. Don't worry, it doesn't go on too long. And it just sets the framework for the code of conduct, if you like, for the meeting. So I will just do the share screen and bring that document up. And if you can just let me know, can you all see that all right? What's going on with that one? Not that one there, do I? There we go. That can go. Right. So I'll make Veronica, perhaps since you've done this before, you can be number one. We'll give James number two. We can do Trudy number three, Christopher number four, and I'll go number five. So if you'd just like to read a sentence each in turn, and we'll just work through these mastermind principles.
The purpose of the mastermind is to learn leadership, build teams, and create multiple sources of income together.
James, you'll need to unmute yourself.
Oops, sorry about that. We are here to inspire and challenge each other to reach and exceed goals.
Each member is committed to their own success as well as the success of every member of the group.
We are committed to meeting in person or virtually for 1 hour every week.
We are present. There is no multitasking or distractions during meetings.
We are collaborative. We listen without interrupting, lecturing, or judging.
We celebrate each other's successes without jealousy.
We are honest and participate by giving thoughtful feedback.
We are open and listen to different perspectives without being defensive or offering excuses.
We trust fellow members enough to share fully.
We are focused, but we also think it's important to have fun during meetings.
And we're real and authentic. This is a no bullshit zone.
We allow ourselves to become completely aligned with each other and the high forces, one mind, one soul, one love.
Excellent. Thank you very much, guys. That's that just gives us the framework, James, for the meeting, as it's sort of, as I said, like a code of conduct. It's the Noble Goldman principles. And so what's going on here now? Oh, here we go. Sorry, just bear with me a second. Right. Okay, so we have a topic, just so everyone knows we're recording this meeting, so it will be available for you to look at within a few days. I will get it up onto the YouTube site, and you can review it at your leisure and take notes from it and so on. If there are pearls of wisdom that will be forthcoming, which I'm sure will happen. So the way each mastermind that is run through the Noble Goldman system is run perhaps differently according to the different presenters' personalities or the way they like to do things. Anyone can host their own mastermind, but it's obviously recommended you try and get a few people in your group if you can to get it rolling, so you've got some people to talk to. Otherwise you could be sitting there on your own, which isn't so much fun. And I run 2 different masterminds a week, so the Tuesday afternoon one and the Friday morning one. There are others. So Martin, who sponsored me into the Noble Goldman organization, he runs meetings on a Wednesday and Thursday. So if you can't make mine, you can always attend his. You're welcome to do that. And there are other people also that you meet through the different meetings who are hosting different meetings around the world at different time zones. And this is an open community in the sense that you're welcome to drop in on any of those meetings. They'll always welcome you in. So there are public open masterminds. There are also then some leaders call masterminds, which is where for people that are looking at building multiple streams of income, which is something we'll explain more to you. I'll send you some documents through and so on that explain a little bit more about that. But as Martin likes to put it, there's kind of 3 doorways that you can go through. The first one is to simply be, as Trudy mentioned, to be able to talk to some fellow human beings who speak the same language as you, and hopefully are like-minded and forward-thinking, and hopefully all reasonably intelligent. Let's assume that we're all wearing glasses, so we must be intelligent, and all making spectacles of ourselves. Got to get a dad joke in there somewhere. So yeah, it's good to be able to chat and brainstorm different ideas and share concepts and just bounce things around. And we do get some pearls of wisdom come out of these. So that's the first thing. There's no obligation to do anything further than that if you wish. And there's a mastermind group on Facebook page that you can follow and you can chip in on and ask questions of people on there. The second thing is that with your membership, you get a completely free personal development program, which is absolutely awesome. So I saw that you've actually opened your Noble Goldman account, haven't you, today, James? You've filled in that registration. So you will need to unmute yourself when you want to speak.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Otherwise, we'll be.
Right, I'll get used to this. No, I've certainly set it up, but I haven't had a good look through it yet. I haven't had time. I only did it an hour or 2 ago, I think. So
there's
yeah.
a lot there
Thank
to
you
look at, and I'll be here to help answer your questions and go through that, as will any of the people in the group as well.
Perhaps we can talk about it over coffee one day.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. So that has got a whole personal development program built into it that you've already got access to now for free just by registering that account. Then if you decide that you want to do the third doorway, if you like, that Martin talks about, is that there is an opportunity where you can go on and build businesses and collaborate with other people, and there's a whole menu of different options. So there are some affiliate marketing type programs there. There are some multi-level marketing type programs that you can get involved in if you wish to. There are some courses. There's going to be a heck of a lot more. It's in its early days. We've now just hit the milestone of having 4,000 members around the world, and it is growing. Was it Mark said, I think 400% a year, something staggering like that. It's only been going a short time. So the idea is that it will be an online resource library for you as well. So there'll be a whole heap of courses, and you as members can also contribute to that. So if you wanted to create a course and put it on there, other people will be able to pay you for doing that course, and you can make it available. And you've got a global network of people then already, of a community that you can put it through. And if you've built yourself a good reputation on these mastermind calls of being a reasonably intelligent person who is quite pleasant and easy to get on with, then there's a good chance that people will go, oh yeah, I like that person, I'll see what their course is all about. And so you could create various different income streams for yourself. But there's no obligation to have to do any of that. So it's entirely up to you at your own pace. But this system with the personal development program really starts with developing the day-to-day habits that enable you to be successful in life and in business. And they really do hone your skills in terms of leadership, management, your whole philosophy of life, team building, all those sorts of things. So there's so much value. you've got the equivalent of a university degree. And as like I said, to start with, it's free. If you want to go up to the next level, which is a Gold Star membership, it's only $200 US a year. And sorry, I'm getting a quick message there from Kelly, who wants to join us and is asking if it's too late. Let me quickly respond to her that
I was wondering where she was. She's always here.
Actually, Veronica, would you mind possibly just messaging her? Have you got her details on there?
Yes.
Yeah. That'll save me stuffing around with the and losing the screens and so on, like I just did then.
Yep.
So now I've.
So is there a policy around people joining late?
Normally, if people want to jump on, and they can, it's really up to the presenter. What am I doing here now? I've lost the. I can't see any of you, which is a little bit awkward. There you are. Okay, got you back. Sorry, I'm on my Apple and I'm still getting used to it. So I'm sort of hitting buttons and going, where am I? Anyway, I got all your pictures back. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you a quick overview. Yeah, we start on time to give everyone to respect each other's times. But if someone is delayed for whatever and they want to jump on a little bit late and get on the call, we're not going to hold that against them, but we're certainly not going to go through all the introductions again. They'll just have to pick it up as to where we're up to. So we do have a topic usually for each call. And so I'll just let Carly in. I will perhaps just let Carly introduce herself to you. Hi, Carly, how are you going? Welcome.
Good, thank you. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. We've got these other guys, I think all know you. Just Trudy, have you met Trudy before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So James is possibly the only one, I think, or maybe Christopher. You've met Christopher as well before, haven't you? You've been on the same call. So just perhaps just say hello to James and introduce yourself quickly. With off mute.
Hi, James. I'm Joanne or Carly Barlow from Newcastle. Where are you from?
I'm from Perth, but I used to live in Gosford and played a lot of football in Newcastle, so I'm quite familiar with the area. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well,
long time
Perth's
ago,
much nicer. Perth's
I think
beautiful.
so.
Yeah. Everyone I've ever met that moved to Perth stayed there. They never came back to the coast. So
I have to say, I get asked quite a lot, where's your favorite place in the world? Because I've done a lot of traveling, and I always say where I always come back to Perth. It's I still haven't found any. There's a lot of places I could live in, but this is still the best package for me overall, I have to say.
yeah.
Certainly know where I'd rather be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially in today's climate.
So we've just gone through, you missed out on all the Noble Goldman principles, Carly, but you know all that from before. And I was just giving James a bit of an update and explanation about what the different levels are that you can go through with Noble Goldman concept. So the topic for today is, if money and time were not an issue, I'd blank. And I leave it to you to consider what would be the first three things that would pop into your mind that you would do if time and money were not an issue. So why don't we go in order of the numbers? And that means I'm picking on you, Veronica. You can start first.
I don't know if I'd change much. It just would give me more freedom to not have to worry about budgeting, I guess. What would I do differently? I'd probably, yeah, I just wouldn't budget so much. I'd just be saying yes to a lot more things, I think. But as far as lifestyle goes, I'm pretty happy. I would actually own my own house instead of rent it, and it would have lots of land, productive gardens. Yeah, and I guess Tony knows about the great big dream, which has been sitting there kind of just sitting in a dark corner, feeling unloved for a long time. then we spoke about it, and a few weeks later, Tony introduced Noble Goldman to me, and now it's one of my mottos from the 90-day challenge was, I don't know how yet, but I can. So it will happen now.
And we're keeping that one a secret, are we, at the moment?
Yeah, I'm not going to go into it now.
V has a world domination plan, but we would have to kill you if we told you about it. So, was there anything else that popped into your mind that that you would do? And I know you're the first cab off the rank, so we put you on the spot. So hadn't had much thinking time, whereas the others are all sitting there cogitating on that question at the moment.
I'd probably get a personal trainer instead of just relying on myself to motivate myself for physical training.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than that, I'm pretty happy with the way I eat and what I eat and where I live and the people around me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you think of anything else, we can come back to you because, like I said, you were first cab off the rank, so we did put you at a little bit of a disadvantage. James, what about you? What popped into your head with that question? If
Repeat the question.
Money and time were not an issue, I would blank, whatever, you know, what would you want to achieve?
Absolutely continue what I'm doing. I spent a lifetime trying to find out what I wanted to do, and finally I found it. And yeah, I'm 100% in line with that. So there's no question about that. Yeah, I've just got to grow it now, and that's my main focus now, is growing that. Very happy family life. I keep myself fit and do my exercise, 4 or 5 days, mornings a week. The only thing that I would do differently if I could is get near my grandkids. I haven't seen them yet. I've got one in Spain and one in Melbourne. So
Right.
that's proving a bit of an issue at the moment. But that aside, I mean, thank goodness for Zoom and video calls and what have you. That's been a big help. But that's it really. No, I'm, as I said before, quite happy where I am. Quite happy with who I am and what I'm doing. So no real dramas.
Excellent. We've found our passion. That's great. That's good to see.
Yeah, I call it it's a passion, but it's also I get a strong sense of contribution, and perhaps it's a bit cliche these days, but I do have a strong sense of purpose, and life has a lot more meaning for me now than it perhaps did in the past. So in all areas.
Mm-hmm.
So no complaints.
Very good. And I've got a question for you, but I'll come back to you on that one. We'll just give everyone else the chance to share and see. Okay. So number 4 was Christopher.
What happened to number 3?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Trudy. Yeah. I forgot you were here. I should have just read your name tag, shouldn't I?
I mean, over the years now of doing so much personal development, there's always one question they ask you, like have that big dream, and if money was no issue and you could do what you want, what do you want, and I guess in the first place it was, all the elaborates and all the flashy things, but, finding out that my passion is just to travel, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And with Veronica saying, maybe, healthy eating, living here in India, I'd probably get myself a cook that would cook my food, not Indian food, because I also have intolerance to wheat and potatoes. So there's so much food here I can't eat, and I'm really sick of rice. So yeah, I'd say I'd have a cook that would cook me food, which is why I'm going south as well, because now I'll get into the coconuts. They don't eat so much bread down there. And as I travel, I don't need I've just watched from, being here in this homestay, the culture of Indians is eye-opening. If you've got money, then everyone below you is meant to do what you want when you want it. And that's another reason why I'm leaving. I just can't handle it. they can't even walk 2 flights of stairs to get something out of their car. They will send the boy, you know. So I guess they had the money, they think they can do that, but that's just not where I'm at. So I'm looking forward to go back to the village life and just to contribute, you know, and just enjoy the culture and experience life. You know, you don't need the flashy things. I've really worked that one out. But yeah, having someone cook some food. There's one restaurant here that makes pad thai noodles, so I go over there occasionally, but that's about it. The rest is Indian food for me.
Yeah. Excellent. So a bit more travel and a cook would be on the in the traveling party.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to travel until I can travel no more, you know, even if I could even travel in a wheelchair, people do it, but you know, that's what I'm going to do is continue to travel.
Well, the cook can always push the wheelchair for you, so
yeah,
we can get
multitasking assistant then.
Very good. Thank you for that share. So now, Christopher, sorry, I did get the numbers wrong before, but I can't count to 4, obviously, you know, bit of a struggle there.
So the question is...
No, I'll repeat it for you. If money and time were not an issue, I would blank, whatever the blank is, fill in the blank.
Money and time, okay. Well, I've been taking notes, so I've got a whole list of stuff. Yeah. I would really like to give back to society for the many causes which I'm passionate about. One would be to really address mental health, especially those people who are less fortunate and people who don't have access to this. And I believe that I could really do a lot of help in that area. I would also like to support causes which break down racism and oppression. I would like to be involved in causes like anti-bullying in school. I would like to help cancel at least 100 people's debts. I would like to help house people. I would like to give back to my parents, and I would like to help my daughter so that she'd never want for anything. And I'd like to help animals and the environment. So I'd like to be involved in something bigger than myself. I mean, basically open the door with money and time not being an issue. And so I'll just pull resources so that it can multiply. You know, I want to think bigger than myself in a sense whereby, I mean, for me, I believe I'm here for a larger purpose. And I know that I can influence people by not just what I say or what I write, but how I can influence people in their thought processes to either break certain mindsets and paradigms where you just, you know, when we start, it's usually like we think about what we want to do for ourselves. And then after that, we want to think about what we want to do about the immediate as well. And I've been walking around today in particular, and I was doing an experiment whereby when I think larger than myself, how can I really affect people around me? So there was this elderly Asian lady I just walked past today in Chinatown, and she's probably an octogenarian. And she was the only one walking in the opposite direction. So as I passed her, I flashed a big smile. And then she just smiled. She opened up. She didn't have her full set of teeth, but she was grinning like ear to ear. And you know, after that, it just really made my day because I knew that it would make a day too. And if I could impact people, not just in a small way, but in a big way, like we say, hey, here's $100 something, or do you need help with your housing, or do you need help with your student debt, or do you need help with what they call medical, etc. And then I would say, if you have the means to do that too, pay it forward as well. And so many people have done it to me, helped me. and therefore I want to pay it forward to the next person and say, hey, pay it forward to the next person, pass it on. And then it becomes like a Keanu Reeves experience. You're awesome. No, you're awesome. No, you're awesome. Everyone's going to be awesome, you know? And then after that, you know, there's a little thing we can put in. I'm thinking larger than what I can possibly do.
That's a powerful share, Christopher. There was, I was only looking for the top 3 things that popped into your mind, but you had quite a list there. But then again, you did have the benefit of a little bit longer to think about it than the others that went before you. So, but that was a very good effort. Well done. So lots of giving back there and lots of bigger causes. Okay, well, oh, it's me, isn't it? So I'm thinking, who's the other T? I realise it's myself. I must be having a strange moment today. The sun's got, maybe it's the anaesthetic, post-anaesthetic from the operations the other week.
Don't forget Carly.
Been a bit slow. Well, I think we should let Carly go. Ladies first, after all. Let's let Carly go before me.
Hang on, I'm still thinking of mine. Can't you go next?
All right, I'll go next. Well, I was just going to say the same kind of things actually that I've been hearing is about contribution. You know, I think that we're all, what I'm seeing is that the people that are attracted to these masterminds all have that sort of common purpose of wanting to help other people, and that's why we're in probably the types of professions that we are. You know, my wife and I are looking after my stepson, who's 27, who's got epilepsy and autism, a rare genetic form of epilepsy. So, you know, our life is built around that concept of caring for others. But as Christopher mentioned, one of the things that would be top of my list would be helping my kids out. You know, I've got my son's 30, just turned 34, and my daughter's 31, and they're both now got children and at that age of wanting to buy their houses. And it's a real struggle for kids to get into the housing market at the moment, with the way that the banks have gone, you know, since the credit crunch, everything tightening up, and you know, having to save a phenomenal deposit now and having to jump through all kinds of hoops to get any sort of help. So you really do need, unless you're building from scratch, if you want to buy an established house, you've got to come up with the deposit money yourselves. So it would be great to be in that position to be able to go, you know, make them put something towards it. So they've got to do a little bit of the work, obviously, but then to be able to reward them by going, you know, here's a helping hand. And certainly with the grandchildren, you obviously want to, you know, as James mentioned, you've got a few. I've now got 3 of them. So you want to make sure that that there's something to help those guys out as well, because who knows what life will be like that they'll be facing, what challenges they'll be facing. But yeah, Veronica and I had talked about bigger goals, about setting up things like certainly in my case, wanting to expand on the coaching work that I've done and providing resources for people. And I had the same sort of thoughts there, Christopher, as people that were going through mental health. A couple of years ago, I was involved in making a documentary about mental health issues and physical health issues. That was actually mainly targeted at men in rural communities. But I then went on to do one with the Aboriginal Corporation as well, and was going out interviewing tribal elders and so on. And there are huge problems in remote areas and in local tribal communities, and certainly outback farms and so on. Even people that are not that far out of the city, still feeling very isolated and feeling that they don't have people to talk to. And I'm sure that COVID has produced multiple cases of people feeling very isolated and very unsure of how they fit in and where they're going to be able to make a difference. A lot of people have obviously been made redundant. A lot of small business owners had their businesses folded through the knock-on effects of the pandemic. So I think there's going to be a huge need for people who are capable and competent to to set up foundations. That's certainly my long-term goal, is to set up a foundation where I can then choose some of those different causes that do need that help, and also link them with the right resources, you know, link them with the right people that can go in and give the right messages, the right talks, the right information that they need at the time that they need it, in the way that they need it. So yeah, and of course travel. So that would be the more personal oriented goal, would be Joe and I have a huge bucket list that we seem to cross one thing off and add 20 on. So I'm running out of lifetime. I've only got another I'm coming up for 60, so I've only got probably another 40 to 50 years to go to get it all done. So
young fella.
well, my mother lived to 100, so and my dad was 90, so I'm hoping the good genes will stand me in good stead there, and I'll still hopefully be sprightly enough if I start looking after myself a bit more, which I've been doing this year. Lost 23 kilos since January the 1st this year, with more to lose for my 60th birthday in February coming up. So working on all that, and so yeah, time and money it's more what you can do with the money, and time is just about leveraging, really, and that's what this is all about, is reaching out and not trying to do it all on your own, realizing that there's so many people around who are willing to help, especially with things like noble causes. If you find the right people, and if everyone does a little bit together, we can get a hell of a lot more done. So that's the main theme of this whole thing, I think, really. So Carly, has that given you enough thinking time?
What's the question again?
Okay.
If I had no money, no problem.
I didn't think it was that hard a question, really, but
It's a bit deep.
If money and time were not an issue, I would do what? I would fill in the blank.
Well, I do like everyone's so far, but I guess for me, it would be to get more connection. And sometimes it takes money to get the connection. And so when I say that, I mean, like, I'd probably get a coach. I'd probably find coaches that are influential, that have done a lot of success in connecting people, so they would be quite valuable and probably have quite a price on their coaching. And so I would need money for that. And so that would be my aim. And then hopefully in that, connect with more people. Obviously I could do that with no money, but sometimes someone like Oprah in your corner is needed if you really want to make a difference. And so if it took me enough money that I could meet Oprah, then, and she interviewed me and that set me up to connect, I would take that offer. Because I want to change lives, and if it takes someone like Oprah to meet me, then I'm worthy. And that's what I do to change lives.
Awesome. Well, is that it? Is there more? Is that enough?
I get a house cleaner for sure.
Nice one.
And travel. Got to travel the world while I'm connecting. Oh, and spend my time with a lot of avatars. I definitely would do that, because that takes money, because I've got to travel to India, the Himalayas, and wherever else I'm going to be meeting these avatars. And I would definitely do that, because the energy transfer in that from my previous experience of doing that already changes lives when I come home and be that, just by being me. So that is well worth doing.
So by that you mean shamanic type people, spiritual leaders, gurus?
Yeah, avatars. Like
all of the above?
All the ones that sat in caves for 15 years and stuff. Those kind of swamis and avatars that are fully enlightened, awake and energetic, and just their thought changes thousands of people.
Yep.
they're the kind of people I've met before and would pay money to meet again.
Right.
Yeah, because when I came home from those experiences, it created me to change just by being in their presence. That's what I want to do for others. So to spend time with those kind of people, I need money to travel to the Himalayas and do those things, like flights and accommodation and
Excellent.
babysitting for my children while I'm gone, etc.
See, it started off, there was just one or two things where she couldn't think of anything. And then once the floodgates opened.
I already thought of those, but I just went with connection because basically it's all about connection and presence. And that's what I'm paying for.
Awesome. Well, I will open this up for, if you want to speak now, just try and time it so we're not talking over the top of each other, or maybe put your hand up and then we'll acknowledge you and speak. The reason I thought this was a relevant topic for tonight is that quite a few of us are looking at doing, or have started today or this week are starting. The Noble Goldman have come out with a new 30-day quest. Now, we were previously doing the 90-day challenge, and the 90-day challenge is about establishing success habits. So the right kind of habits to do every day that actually set you up for the success that you want in your life. So it helps you to define with great clarity what it is that you want, whether time and money are an issue in that or not. But either way, whether it might just be spiritual growth, which you might not need money for, but on the other hand, if it means going and traveling to meet somebody who's going to give you that spiritual growth, then maybe it does need money, and maybe it does need some time away from your normal situation to be able to go and do that. Quite often, time and money are involved somewhere along the way, whether we would like to think they are or they're not. But they do seem to pop up quite, money's like a bit like oxygen. They say you can't do that much without it. So that's why I thought tonight would be particularly relevant to get everyone. I know it is the kind of cliched question to go back to the beginning and go, I would as a coach go, if I had a magic wand and I waved that, what would you really like to do? That's that kind of when people are stuck, you bring out the magic wand. Well, it's important because sometimes we forget about those dreams. And V and I were talking about this. We have these dreams, you think back to as a child at school, we had all these amazing things we were going to do when we grew up. And then what happened along the way? Maybe some of those got knocked out of us. Oh, don't be silly, you'll never be able to do that. Or, you're not good enough at this particular topic at school to be able to, this subject, to be able to learn what you need to learn to do what it was that you wanted to be an astronaut or something. And there could be physical reasons why you can't do it, but very often it's our own mindset that gets in the way. And this is why what we're doing with these challenges and so on is about going back to the basics of dreaming again, setting goals, using the power of manifestation or creative visualization. And you'll find, James, when you look in the back end of, when you've got a chance to look in the Noble Goldman website, there is a whole heap of information there in terms of videos to watch. There's going to be loads of courses that are going to be put in. So we're really going to enable people to really harness the power of the law of attraction. The whole thing is based on Napoleon Hill's teachings in Think and Grow Rich, which isn't just about growing rich in terms of money. It's about growing rich in terms of your own spirit, your own internal philosophies and so on. So the other things that might have popped into your mind to think about, we did have a very, very common theme there of contribution. That word was mentioned by at least 3 people. And on the others, although that exact word might not have been used, the sentiment was very much there, wasn't it? So everyone here was about sharing and about bigger causes and about doing something for other people. So perhaps just to add, how would it change your life to achieve those things that you just mentioned? Or how would it change the lives of those people around you, your family members? Anyone had any thoughts about that or want to share anything on that? Yep.
From my experience so far, it's how it's changed my family is they've become abundant. Like where our family growing up were in lack and poverty, from what I've done for the last 10 years, all of my family members, when I've done healing with them and forgiveness, even if it was just their approval and I did it on the inner plane as an energetic transfer, they all became abundant, financially free. So I know that changes not just me by when I show up, step up and forgive myself, but when I cut all cords energetically to any family member, it changes their life. It could be instant, could be over a few weeks, a couple of months, but it definitely changes their life. And that includes anyone.
Thanks, Carly.
Friends,
That's
soul
awesome.
family.
And I can speak here on that my wife Jo had a session with Carly and blew her socks off. Spiritually blew her socks off, and she came out absolutely buzzing and very pumped up, absolutely super pumped for the, well, she still is. So it's obviously done something. Anyone else? What do you think the goals that you've talked about, the things you've spoken about achieving, contributing, who would be the biggest beneficiaries from what you want to achieve? Trudy.
Yeah, I don't have family. I chose to leave my family behind many years ago. But I think I would benefit, because like I said, what I'm seeing here, different cultures, and I'm growing personally, like, yeah, Carly, I'd love to find some of those avatars you talk about. Maybe one day I'll come across them. I'm not searching for them because I didn't come to India for the spiritual, connection. I just came for fun, adventure, amazement, and this job has taught me a lot more patience, so I'm benefiting, and I would benefit more. And from there, there, like you're saying, with your families, there is a flow-on effect. So if others have feel my flow-on effect, well then yeah, it's great.
That's awesome, Trudy. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Go on, B.
Yeah, it's funny, I didn't mention contribution, but it's kind of assumed if I actually talk about the project that is my big dream. But speaking of contribution, I grew up in a family that didn't really contribute to anybody. So I've had to learn that, and it's taken, I'm 51 now, so it's like, why's it taken so long? But I look at my family and they still haven't gone past that. They're still very much about what's in it for me, and just not giving at all. And it frustrates me no end. And I actually can't talk to my sister at the moment because it just frustrates me. So yeah, family, I can understand where you're coming from, Trudy, just leave them behind. Yes, who would benefit from my project, which is basically, well, I want to do a venue that caters for everything from growing the food to preparing the food and serving the food, and from then that's just the food part of it, but also space for personal development and healthy habits and that kind of thing. So it's definitely a community project, and everybody from the teachers to the students to just people who come to eat and be part of the process would benefit from it. So yes, contribution is very much part of the whole. It's underneath everything.
I was wondering when Christopher will pipe up on the family one.
Oh, you know.
Were you going to add something there, Christopher, or it was just a love heart that was going up?
Oh, okay. I'll contribute. For me, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and if I'm able to just affect the life of just one person, it would be my daughter. And I don't want to just impact people on like a low level impact. I want to impact people with a high value kind of impact where there is a multiplier effect. So I know that it starts off with changing one person, or rather impacting one person. You can't really change people. I mean, I've had a little bit of crisis in the family as well this week, and you know, Tony. Yeah. So then after that, anything else is bonus. I believe that whether it's small or big, there is an impact. Like, for example, when I see people come to me for advice, I feel that I have the honor that they trust and respect and want to know what my 2 cents is on the matter, and then they feel like, oh, that's something which they didn't see as a different insight and a different perspective. And that's where I have to remember that we all have our blind spots, and sometimes our blind spots of our own are the worst. You can't really see what your blind spots are, obviously, because of blind spots, and that's where it's good to have that feedback with trusted people. So I'm more aware now who speaks to my life, who I go to for advice as well. And so the things which I look for in people would be, number one, integrity, high integrity, kindness, empathy, compassion, people who think larger than just about themselves. I mean, I went through this process whereby why are people so selfish? And then I came across, you know, the various types of people from number 1 to number 5. You have those who are just about self-preservation, and those who are about self-preservation plus family and immediate family. Then after that, you start thinking about larger things, and then the totally self-sacrificial, who don't even think about themselves. They just like would give their life for another person, and we are all somewhere on that scale. And there's actually a test, you know, the empathy test online. You can see where you fall. And I would really like to. That's where I began to like manage my expectations as well on why I shouldn't really be disappointed, you know, when I meet people who just think about themselves and all anymore. But I would really like to impact just one person first, and impact that person at a very high level, and then pass it on, pay it forward.
Very good. Yeah, so that's, you know, there's that old saying about lighting one candle, and from that one candle you can light many candles. I can't remember what the exact old saying is, but you know what I'm talking about. Excellent. So yeah, definitely start with one person and then work on from there. James, there was something I was going to come back to you and ask you about, and it seemed that you had a very clear, you'd really put some work into this. You said you described that it had taken you quite some time to figure out what it was that you really wanted out of life.
Yep.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I remember you mentioned you had some health issues. Was that a significant contributor to that determination to find an answer, to find meaning, or to find the purpose for your life?
No.
No, not really.
No, it had no effect at all. No, I've been well on this path, and if there's one thing I've noticed over my life is that I've been drawn to doing this sort of things I've been doing because, you know, I've been coaching, you know, sport professionally and whatever over the years, and been working with people over the time. But I always knew I wanted to work with people, but I didn't know how. I didn't know what form that would take, and it took me a long time to, first of all, find out what it was I wanted to do, and secondly, to get past the beliefs and the confidence in myself to take ownership of that. And because I don't know whether anyone else has noticed it as well, but isn't it funny how, you know, a lot of people, they teach what they need to learn.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's where you know, I realized that I was coming from. You know, actually I'm not sort of helping other people with their problems. I'm really working on my own stuff in the process. And so for me, it was about dropping stuff off, not learning new stuff. And the more I dropped the belief software, which took an awful long time to do, the easier things got. And now I'm driven from a different place. I'm not trying to force things, if you like. I'm not trying to make myself do stuff. This is what I find myself doing. And it's just so much easier coming from that perspective. And yeah, that's it really. So now I'm really comfortable talking to people. I don't feel any need to sell anything to anybody. It's their choice. I care, but I don't mind if people say no. It doesn't bother me. That's their call, and I'm happy to move on. It's not an issue. Whereas I would have taken it personally before and made it about me. And you know, I realised that I'm a human being. Perfection doesn't exist, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
That's a great share. Thanks for that, James. Yeah, I was wondering if there was a significant moment there, a turning point, you know, because like you, I always had that sense of, I've always been in occupations or jobs where I've been helping people or doing things for people. And I think that stems from childhood, being brought up. My parents were hoteliers. So like you, Trudy, they were constantly being interrupted and constantly having to get up and do things for people and putting everybody else first all the time. So that service orientation, service attitude was instilled into me as a child, very much so. I was brought up living in guest houses, and you know, and then when I was a bit older, I was actually helping it.
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because, you know, when you're taught that, you know, you should put others above yourself, it creates a big problem, because, you know, people who are like that often refuse help from other people.
Yeah.
You know? And in doing that, you're preventing people from doing what it is that you love to do. So it's a two-way street. I mean, you've got to learn to receive as well as give.
Definitely. And that's some of the work we've been doing recently. We've been working through the universal laws, and it's part of that program with the personal development program that we do, is actually to talk about some of those things and dissect them in great detail, because you're absolutely right. A lot of people, especially in these sort of giving occupations, forget to receive as well.
Well, and they find it hard to put a proper value on their time as well when it comes to charging. There's a lot of coaches around, and 90% of coaches don't earn a proper income.
Yeah,
because they're too cheap.
Yeah,
and so it's getting that, you know, it's getting that value properly sorted, I suppose, from a personal level, and the value is in the eyes of the beholder. So.
Wise words indeed. I shall certainly send you my invoice at the end of the meeting. No, I'm only joking, don't worry. But yeah, it's a valid point. I think, you know, a lot of us struggle with that sense of actually putting a value on our own abilities and our own achievements and our own experience that we can bring to bear on situations. And
yeah, and setting boundaries, you know, and you know, give yourself some rules to live by, I guess. At least in a professional context, and well, personal as well, I suppose. So it's personal boundaries, professional boundaries. You know, where you have to set limits, whether you like it or not. It's, you know, it's necessary.
Yep. Well, we're just about come to the end of our time, so I just have one sort of quick final question, I suppose, or a couple, maybe just depending on if we do one-word answers, perhaps. Who would you most like to meet?
Michael Franti.
Who?
Who?
Michael Franti. He is a singer, but and a poet and a rapper and whatever. Does anyone know him? No.
Nope.
So he's gone through his angry stage, and then he went a little bit hippie, and he owns a retreat in Bali, but he's also done documentaries traveling to war zones and actually talking to people from both sides and going to the hospitals and things. And he just has this incredible ability to talk to anybody. When he came and toured here in Perth, he was performing in Kings Park, and he told everybody to go pick up their rubbish afterwards, and he got off stage and started picking up rubbish with people. He was telling stories. He'd been in Perth for a couple of hours, and he was telling us about the Aboriginal people because he'd met them. You know, that's the kind of person he is. I'd love to develop that. And Martin's got a bit of that too, so he can kind of work out where people are at very quickly and empathise with them and include them in things so quickly. And I think that's an amazing skill to have.
Interesting. Okay, anyone else got a name to pop out? Nobody in particular?
Well, the person I would love to have met is no longer with us, and that's Princess Diana.
Oh,
I'd love
yeah.
to meet her.
Yeah, the Princess of Hearts. Yeah, very inspirational lady. So no childhood heroes or anything that you look up to? Anyone that you want to? No sporting legends?
All got 2 arms and 2 legs, haven't they?
Yeah, this is true.
Just like us.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, I suppose that's true. It has that sort of thinking has impacted on me quite a bit, where you don't hold them with such reverence, perhaps, but more curiosity. I would be interested to meet if I could have lunch with somebody. I would think Michael Parkinson would have been an interesting one for me because he had met so many other people. But you read his books and you watch his TV shows, so you can access that quite easily. I find President Obama fascinating because he's so eloquent and he's so measured in what he says. He's very gracious. And of course Oprah, because again, Oprah has met just about everybody, hasn't she? So there's a huge amount of inspiration. One that I found fascinating this year, and this COVID journey that's taken me, instead of traveling around the world, taken me on a journey within, is I read two of the books from Eckhart Tolle. And so reading The Power of Now and then A New Earth, and that's quite impactful. So, but definitely life-changing, reading those books and sort of reflecting and taking on board some of those philosophies about being present and about shutting up your ego when you hear it babbling away inside your own head and inside, and not reacting to things as much, and noticing the nature around you and the beauty in the world and so on. James, I thought you were going to add something.
Well, I've just dinner's ready, and I'm gonna have to shoot up, I'm afraid.
Dinner's ready. Is that exact thing that we do need to bear in mind now? So thank you so much, guys. It's been an awesome call. There's definitely been some very interesting points shared there, and I do appreciate your time and your input, your contribution from all of you. That was great. So we shall meet again.
Thank you.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, lovely to meet you all. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.